Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I'm back with a new video. This is my Spring Equinox Ostara candle carving video. Hey, so this video is coming out later than planned due to a death in the family. I wasn't able to edit and upload several videos I had planned for last month, but here we are. However, the belief that each Sabbat is not just one day, but like half a season means you can still find this useful. I've wanted to carve candles for each Wiccan Sabbat for years, and I made a Beltane one back then. So you won't get a carving video like this for the upcoming Sabbat. My personal practice is Wiccan leaning, so I celebrate 8 solar holidays. Having a candle which represents fire makes sense to me. However, like I mentioned in the grimoire video for this candle, I was brought up where fixed candles were the norm. So I'm using the 7-day pull-out candle, which should last me several years, which is what I want. Check out my Spring Equinox Candle Grimoire page video for more details about that and how this is a new series of videos you'll see this year. If you would like a PDF of that spread, you can get it by becoming a patron of mine at the Ruby Rose tier. Links to my Patreon in the description below. Anyway, you pick the color that you want, and I chose pink for the starting of spring. Pink also corresponds with love and attraction, other themes for the spring equinox. First, I cleanse the candle. It's been sitting around getting dusty, but unused also, so just clearing out spiritual and physical dust using the spiritual cleansing spray I make for this purpose. My candle wick is loose here, so I'm trying to get it to adhere back to the bottom, but that didn't work, so I kind of gave up. It still works. Here is a reminder of the spread, which will help me remember what I plan to do with this candle. So the next step is carving the seals and symbols into the candle. You can use a candle carving kit or things like I have, an X-Acto knife and a mechanical pencil. The idea is to get the grooves wide enough and deep enough so that your oils, herbs, or glitter can sit in the spaces you've carved out. After I put my personal symbols, I start with the name or title, which for this candle, for me, is Ostara. Then I do the vine, which goes all around the top, and it's, for me, the symbol of the renewal and growth themes from the spring equinox. Next, I carve the fire. This is not a fire festival, but I associate solar with fire. I might do like a sun symbol or the upright triangle next time. Of course, a rabbit or hare or bunny, whichever you prefer. This more looks like a bunny for me. That's what comes next. I can barely draw this, so as to not have it seemingly just floating mid-air, I decided to put that and the fire symbol towards the bottom of the candle, on different sides though. Next are the eggs, and both the eggs and the bunny are signs of fertility, but the eggs also of hope and I guess creativity. I wanted these to be big and in the middle because of the decorative elements I'm putting on them. It will be easier to see if they're bigger. All right, last but definitely not least, the cherry blossoms. I'm just putting one full blossom like close up and a little closed bud. Uh, it's cherry blossom season. They come and they go very quick. The fleetingness of life and death, but also the blooming themes of the spring equinox, things that are pretty, that are pastel, that are attractive, that are fertile and looking to connect with something else that's fertile, flowers. It seemed appropriate. And like the eggs, I wanted these to be big because of the detail in the drawing or carving. So here it is, my fully carved candle, and you can see a little bit better now that I've cleaned up the spaces and brushed out or dug out the excess wax. You can see the symbols a little bit better. And once I add the oils and herbs, they will stick out even more. So I mentioned in the spread video that I'm using herbs instead of glitter for environmental reasons. Again, go watch that video if you want. The oil I'm using is my Spring Equinox oil that is available at my Etsy shop if you'd like to purchase. Links in the description as always. It's an anointing oil for this purpose. Now we're moving on to the dressing part of this candle, and you basically anoint it with oil. Different people have different ways of doing this, like the directions you put the oil on to the candle. I did it the way that I've been taught and the way that my personal practice and coven practices. You do however you know. So earlier I showed you some of my ingredients, but I'll go over them more now as I use them. The plants I picked partially for their coloring and partially for their corresponding spiritual, magical meanings. First is violets, and they come in spring and bid you to take care of your inner self. I'm using violet leaf because it's green, and I had also picked this because the purple or dark blue violet color of the flowers, but what I have left has lost that color, unfortunately. At first, I tried using the X-Acto knife, as you saw, and it helped, but it was taking too long. So, when you use glitter, they come in smaller containers that are easy to apply, or easier anyway. But this is not so bad. You're just trying to push the plant matter into the spaces you've carved out, and then try to brush off as much that you no longer need. But it's okay if it gets on other parts of the candle. It's still lending its energy and spiritual purpose to the candle. If you look back at the page that I made, you'll see that I had certain symbols drawn in certain colors, and that was my guide for which plants I would use where. So now I'm putting the green into the stems of my cherry blossom. So some areas I don't mind, I don't have a specific color for. Like some of the symbols I haven't, they're private, so I'm not going into them. But it doesn't matter to me so much which herb goes in those areas. Like the title here, I did the egg because one of them I wanted to have the green stripes, and the title for this candle, or name, is Ostada. And I'm going to try and put a little bit of each in here. You can always add a little extra oil directly into the grooves you've carved, like you've seen me do a couple of times here. The oil helps it adhere and stick into place. Alright, so the next plant I'm using is Jasmine, which has white flowers, which I've crushed as much as I could to make the pieces small enough, and they're typically white. The color is not the only reason I chose Jasmine. Jasmine often brings a calm energy as well as a cleansing power. And those are themes I think are important for spring equinox. We're often thinking about spring cleaning, clearing out what has built up from the winter, whether it's in our homes or in our bodies or in our minds or in our plans. And then calm, because spring begins with Aries season, that fiery punch, gotta get things done, gotta get new plans started, energy, and quite often we need to calm down. So that's why the jasmine. I also added some to the bunny or rabbit there, as well as the title and some other symbols. Moving on to our last color, which is basically pink. I've got a mix of rose and cherry blossoms all crushed up. So what you want to do with your plants, you want to get them to as close to a powdery consistency as possible. So really grind them down however you do that, and that will make them more likely to fit into the spaces. So I'm putting that mix into the cherry blossom and the fires here. Now, roses do not bloom this early here, but they do add a strength to the season. They bring luck, attract the fae, and they're good for loving yourself. Cherry blossoms definitely bloom only this time of year, and they are youthful and give you that energy of the quick passing of life. Nothing is permanent. Once you're done, you can do a couple of swipes with a paper towel in between the symbols to clean up a bit, and some people like to pour a mix of herbs on the top. You can also use leftover filings of your wax. Okay, so the rest of this is my choice. It's not typical, but we're going to be feeding the candle by using the glass case. That's why they're called pull-out candles. And for this, you use some iron filings. This is also called magnetic sand. You just need a little bit. Next, you want to use some honey, and you're supposed to put a drop onto the finger or part of your hand that is resonates with the purpose of your candle and the spirit that will be helping you achieve what you are making this candle for. This is more spell focused. And I put it on my thumb because I was actually carving and dressing and feeding this candle on Friday, Venus's day. The other thing is you add 5 pennies. I have always used pennies, but it's 5 coins, and you're supposed to think of 5 things that you want to come out of this candle. And I chose 5 themes related to the symbols I've carved and the herbs I've chosen. You can also do affirmations. Next, you take some incense that you like. I'm using the Spring Equinox incense that I offer in my Etsy shop. Again, links in the description. And you draw a pentacle with it over your jar and drop it in and cover it with your hand to let the smoke fill in the glass jar. Finally, you drop your candle in there. Just try not to let it touch the sides and mess up or smear any of the herbs or glitter if you use glitter. And this is it. This is my complete Spring Equinox or Ostara candle. I can't wait to burn it every year. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Definitely let me know if you try and do this, at least just a carved and dressed candle. The whole using herbs instead of glitter is, I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought of it, but different than typical. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you are new, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. Leave me a little candle emoji in the comments if you want to support but don't know what to say. If you've made it this far, reminders that there's still links to supplies, but also for ways you can support the people of Palestine and the people of the Democratic Republic of Congo to stop these genocides from happening, to keep up with those who are there, to let us know what is happening. There's also links in the description to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products for magic and mundane purposes, as well as links to my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter if you'd like to follow me anywhere else. There's also a link now to my Patreon if you want to support and get early access to future videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.